Subscribe, motherfucker. What's good, guys? Cal here. Recently, Penguinz0, also known as Moist Critical, also known as Charlie, has come under fire for a bunch of reasons. Firstly, he somehow lost a debate to Sneako, the most hated person on the internet, and then people started saying he completely left the internet, which wasn't true at all, but we'll get into that in a second. The way that this started is that while the, Ava Chris Tyson stuff was going down, Charlie didn't make a video on it, and that led to a lot of people questioning why he wouldn't.
Yo, look out, Moist Critical is not gonna go talk about the Chris situation because he wants to have the Mr. Beast collab. Bro, you're gonna talk about every other trending situation, Dr. Disrespect, Sneako, anything that goes viral goes on your main channel. Chris, the associate of the biggest YouTube channel in the world, you do a 4-minute clip on your second channel. Stop coping and be a journalist if you're gonna be a journalist, or just say that you wanna have the collab. Stop lying.
Sneako's goofy ass turned out to be completely wrong, however, because literally like a day later, a video addressing the situation was uploaded to Charlie's channel. But he was understandably a little stressed from all the criticism he was receiving, and so he made a statement towards the end of the video addressing the stuff that Sneako said.
I need to go put on the fucking bathrobe here and give him PTSD or something. What do you mean it is a 4-minute clip? Because I did that so people like you who don't pay attention long enough could see my take on it and also get the bare bones information of what makes it so horrible. That's the reason it's a 4-minute clip on the second channel. It was never going to be the only video I made talking about it. I was always going to make a full breakdown of this because it's bad. It's a horrible situation. And also, for the millionth fucking time, I'm not a journalist. I'm like the Z-tier stupid journalist, like this actual layman fucking CTE riddled idiot that reports on stories, and I talk about them usually to make jokes about them.
So he pretty much explained how he went through the same steps as he did with the Dr. Disrespect situation. Like he waited a day or two to get all the information and to make a clear, well-informed stance on the topic. It makes sense to me, but for some reason, all of this led to Charlie debating Sneako, and to be honest, both of them had some outrageous takes.
Talking about your personal beliefs, do you think someone in their 20s should be able to marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
To someone in their 20s should be, I personally wouldn't do it. I don't know many people who would do it. The maturity for people and the teenagers in the West is getting much worse, but there are...
We're talking globally. Let's just talk globally. Like, do you think it is okay for... I'm not talking about just you specifically anymore. Anyone. Do you think it's okay for anyone in their 20s, an adult, to marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
A 21-year-old, if there was a marriage where the father consented and the daughter consented, and it was both good on both families and they wanted to do it, why am I going to get involved?
Oh god, there's no way this guy is defending child marriage. That shit is actually wild to me. But there's a reason that this guy is one of the most hated people on the internet. All of his fans are so brain dead, it's crazy. However, he wasn't the only one in the debate who had a pretty bad take. The topic quickly moved to the issue of having a sex change when you're a kid, and this is what Charlie had to say on the matter.
Do you believe that somebody can go through hormone therapy? Can they change their gender if they're a child?
I think that's totally fine as long as everyone is consenting, as you agree with.
Now, I know this is a controversial topic or whatever, but personally, I think you should wait until you're 18 to have any kind of gender-affirming surgery, unless, of course, there's some sort of medical emergency or something like that. And I think that's what a large majority of the internet believes, because Charlie started receiving a lot of hate on Twitter and other platforms. I'm with Sneako on this. That's a really bad take. They're really going L for L on the stream. And I think that last tweet really sums it all up, to be honest. On one side, we have Sneako defending child marriage and wanting to abolish the age of consent, and then we have Charlie trying to make it legal to chop off a kid's nether regions and completely change their biology before they're fully developed. I definitely disagree with pretty much all of what Sneako was saying. The guy is defending but that being said, I think he definitely won the debate in that he defended his positions better and attacked Charlie more aggressively. But you also have to keep in mind that Charlie isn't really a debater, whereas debating is essentially what Sneako thrives off of, since his takes are so brain dead, anyone with a working brain would try and argue with him. Charlie eventually tried to take back his response, and Sneako reacted to that saying this.
The path you want to take, it is your body, you can do that,
He's taking it back. It doesn't matter, you're gonna say hyperbole, you're gonna say, I didn't really mean it, you did mean it, okay? Now you're seeing the response. And this is what I was trying to expose with the debate, is that your opinions, a lot of these YouTube commentators, their opinions just match public perception. If they're getting canceled, they're going to change their worldview to go fit that because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. He realized people don't like cutting off 9-year-olds' penises. So now he's backtracking and saying it's hyperbole. Stand on it.
Essentially, Sneako is saying that when it comes to controversial topics, Charlie just takes whatever stance is most popular rather than actually backing himself up and standing up for his own thoughts. Personally, I don't really agree with this. Like, just because someone has an opinion that's in line with the majority, it doesn't mean that they're trying to please the masses. Popular opinions are popular for a reason, you know? Anyways, Sneako started relentlessly tweeting at Charlie, calling him scared and telling him to release the full debate. And in turn, that led to a lot of hate on Charlie's side. Moist Critical is a pussy. That boy really somewhere crying. Bro couldn't handle a bit of pushback. Sneako really broke him with that debate, lol. Now, in my opinion, I think the reason that people started hating on Charlie so hard is because they aren't used to him having a bad take. Like, no one is ever gonna take what Sneako says seriously because he's so deranged and just simply stupid. But Charlie, on the other hand, he's been the voice of reason on YouTube for years, and I think people just didn't expect him to have such a bad take on the issue. Anyways, on July 31st, we got this update from Charlie's podcast Patreon page, essentially saying that Charlie was leaving the podcast. Hey everyone, effective immediately, Charlie has made the decision to leave both the official podcast and Red Thread. He wants to go on an indefinite hiatus to scale back his time spent on the internet. We obviously wish him the best, for everyone to respect his decision, and for all to know that the show will always be open for him to drop by and talk shop should he wish to return. After this went out, a lot of people just assumed that Charlie was leaving the entire internet for good, with Twitter pages such as Drama Alert tweeting and informing tons of people that Charlie had quote-unquote quit YouTube. Obviously, this wasn't true. A few days later, Charlie posted a video titled Moist Critical Situation is Crazy. In it, he basically just explains how he's not actually leaving the internet and he's just leaving the podcast that he was doing.
Apparently, and I didn't know this until I posted the video, everyone was under the impression that I was quitting the internet. So I started scratching at the hair on my chinny chin, wondering, when the fuck did that happen? Was I sleepwalking? Do I have somnambulism? Is this some kind of, like, you know, Fight Club situation, but instead of like Tyler Durden, I have fucking Charles Turden here that's just making wrong announcements.
He also mentioned how he's trying to scale back his time spent on the internet and how he really doesn't enjoy the content he's been making.
Mainly because I started to recognize that I was becoming the very thing I'd make fun of with being chronically online. Like, I just was always online, and the podcasts were a big proponent of that, and I just kind of wanted to scale back the amount of time I spend online.
Personally, I fully agree with him. I think being less chronically online is a very good thing to do and will definitely affect your life in a positive way. Even me personally, I've definitely been spending a lot of time looking for video topics and just keeping up with what's going on online that I've kind of stopped paying attention to other areas of my life, which, you know, is something I'm going to try and improve in the future. I mean, the internet is a wild place. You can pretty much do anything you want, and sometimes you can definitely lose yourself in it and lose touch of what's important in the real world. And if you think you're spending too much time online, go touch some fucking grass.
Prayers up in the chat for Moist Critical. It seems like he's quitting YouTube indefinitely for a mental health break because he got the debate hurt his feelings. He still hasn't uploaded it. In my opinion, it seems like he's dodging uploading the debate a little bit by retiring. But come out of retirement, upload the debate, everything will be fine. We're praying for you. I hope you're okay.
God, I hate this guy. Obviously, Sneako doesn't care if Charlie's okay. Like, he really just doesn't give a fuck. It's so phony. At the end of the day, Sneako's really just trying to create a whole lot of drama that simply doesn't need to be created. Sure, Moist Critical had a horrible take and performed poorly in the debate. But I mean, it's not like he should get canceled over those things. I hate how Sneako is getting a lot of support, even though, like I said earlier, the guy supports child marriage and wants to abolish the age of consent. Shit's crazy. Anyways, please let me know if I got anything wrong about this story, or if you know some more information and want to add to it. I'd really appreciate it. Also, I wanted to thank you all so much for the recent support on the channel. It's so fucking cool for me to read all your guys' comments and stuff, and it means so much to me. As always, it's been Mikel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.